First of all, so thanks for having me here, the invitation to come to this conference and talk about the implications of sport policy and sport participation in the Netherlands. I'm working for the Institute. We were one of the initiators together with David for the Measure Network, which wants to enlarge the understanding of sport participation and exchange their knowledge. So that's what I'm trying to do here today. And the roadmap for this presentation, I will start off with just giving you a brief highlight from the perspective from the Netherlands, how is sport participation in the Netherlands, what are trends and current issues. I will also place it in the European perspective to show you how we break the European perspective. And then two reasons to not participate in sport. What is it that drives people not to participate in sport? I think all of you can imagine how much fun it is to practice sport, but for a lot of people it's not that evident to participate in sport. And then I will go to some sport policy programs that we've had in the last years and some benefits of these programs and some implications for the future. I will not be able to tell you how some policy program can enlarge sport participation in a total country and what the effect is on a national level. And like the business case that was requested in the prior session, what are now really the benefits of sport? It is always very difficult to show that, and I think more analysis is needed to be able to do that, and you would also stress in the presentation. Well, first of all, sport participation in the Netherlands, we have data from 63 onwards. At that time we had a sport participation rate of 38% from people that at least participate once a year. That has been increased to 71% in 2007. It is still rising, although slowly. And we still see social differences. But what we can see is that the age groups through time have been increased in sport participation. Especially the older age groups are much more active in sport nowadays than they were, let's say, 30 or 40 years ago. So we have gained some, at least some at that age group. The rising sports quite similar to European trends. We also see that those individual sports, those light communities, also increasing. The fitness, the running, walking, biking, cycling, and also golf, one of the sports that has been especially in the last 10 years increasing in the Netherlands. On the other hand, we also see that sport clubs still have a strong basis in the Netherlands. We have over 5 million sport club members nowadays. We had about 1.5 million in 1955. So there's a huge increase. Sport clubs still have a dominant position in the local sport framework, and I will come back to that later on. If we place that in European perspective, then based on sport participation once a month, we don't do that bad. We have 64%, one of the highest in Europe, compared to 46 average. But we're not the best. If we compare ourselves to the Nordic countries, to Finland and Sweden, we have a lot to gain. We have a gap that still has to be filled. So in the Netherlands, we now see that it's organized sport, event sports, also sports that are less related to municipal facilities, and therefore less related to original municipal local sport policies. So we need a shift on the local level, maybe also on the national level, to also enlarge the policy impact besides the sport club level, besides the official sport facilities. And if we look at physical activity more broader than sport participation, then also in the Netherlands we do quite good with 84% compared to an average of 65 in Europe. I think one of the main reasons that we do quite well in physical activity as well as sport is because we have quite a good sport infrastructure. We have over 25,000 sport clubs that provide enough sport opportunities on a local level in the area people live. In addition, we have very good cycling possibilities. We are known as the cycling country, which makes it easier for people to use it for transport purposes as well. Not only for sport, but also for transport purposes, which is quite important if you want to reach the physical activity guidelines nowadays. So if you look at the specific statements on the way sport or physical activity is facilitated at a local level, then you see that we do really well. We have 95% in the lowest graph, and the area therefore offers me many opportunities to be physically active. With 95% we score the best in Europe, we rank on top. But if we have a closer look at sport participation rates in the Netherlands, then we can see these social differences I mentioned earlier. The men and women are quite equal, as was also stressed in the previous presentation. But if you look at the age group, we see a declining participation by an increase in age. If we look at education, then we see that the less well educated have lower sport participation rate than the better educated. And we see the same with income. The higher the income, the higher the sport participation rate is. And it's not only related to income and education. If we look at ethnic minorities, then we see that there are especially these groups that stay behind in sport participation in the Netherlands nowadays. So what can be barriers to sport participation? We asked the citizens of the Netherlands what can be a reason, or what is the reason, one of the reasons why you do not participate in sport, or maybe why you do not participate as much as you want to participate. And the main reason is lack of time. Especially if you look at the working people, which is the purple now, you see that, especially for that group, time is an issue. They don't have the time to be a member of a sport club and train twice a week and then have a game in the weekend. It's still time consuming. And if you look at the elderly, 50 to 80 years, then it's mainly related to their physical ability to participate in sport, at least their perception to what sport is. Because you can participate in sport no matter your physical conditioning, because sport is a broad concept. There is always some kind of sport activity that is suited to your body expertise. So it's mainly the perception of sport or the way that sport is presented nowadays. But it's also a reason of motivation. People don't think it's fun to do, so maybe in the offer and the supply of sport, you should pay attention to that as well. And referring to that, the pain that you have to undertake for sport in order to have the game, which was mentioned by Stefan in the session just before, I think it's also an issue here with physical is too intensive. The participation in sport can be too intensive to the body, and that you refuse to do so. I think altogether we can say that sport participation is good for all people, no matter your physical condition, no matter your age, no matter your social or cultural background. Everybody should be able to participate in sport. It is a right, that's what you said. And if you look at the policy program in the Netherlands, then we can see that as well. In the policy program, it's stated that that the possibilities to participate in sport should be increased and should be offered close by in the area people live. And it's not only sport, it's also physical active. It's not only about being active in sport, but also being physically active in general. I think this change from sport participation to physical activity in general is also due to that health consciousness that sport is profiting of at the moment. The reason that sport policy is getting much attention is because sport is seen as a medicine nowadays, as a profitable investment, cost effective. It helps to create social capital. It helps people to build a social network, to engage in society. In the Netherlands, we have currently an Olympic ambition. We want to have the Olympics in 2028. That's far away. In the meantime, we want to increase our sport participation rate, and we see that a lot of energy comes from that as well. The challenge we've set for ourselves for the future is that we increase the sport participation rate of 65% to 75% in 2016. It is a hard challenge. So we may be looking at possibilities to reach that level. What should we do at the policy level to be able to reach and on target groups to accomplish that 75% ambition? And we can say that not one segment will do. If you focus only on the youth, as is mainly the idea, because it's not only about getting more people active, it's also the benefits that you get when you introduce sports to young age groups as part of their education. They can profit from that later in life. But if you look at current sport participation grades, the graph that you see there is the age group on the bottom. Especially the youth is already participating well enough and already exceeds that 75%. It is the older age group where the problem is at the moment. We need to involve more people, especially in the old age groups, to reach that ambition of 75%. And if we look at specific target groups, for instance, ethnic minorities, they are just a part of the population, so if we focus all our efforts on that group, then we can only reach 2.6% points, and not the 10% points that we need from 65 to 75%. Lower income groups are also very important, so you should combine these segments, not focus just on youth, or just on elderly, or just on ethnic minorities. You should use a different approach with several target groups and try to increase, not just in one group, but increase the whole society. If we look at some target groups that we can mention, one of the important ones is the elderly. You should know that these are more interested in physical activity than in sports because of their physical capabilities. They're more into sport for social contacts and for health reasons than for competing with others. So probably we should reinvent sport. There are some sport associations in the Netherlands now who try to come up with new forms of their current sport. Football comes up with 7-a-side, just to introduce the older people to start playing football again. Not to have to run all over the pitch, but just half pitch to make it more easy and combine it with their physical capabilities. Another interesting group is the working people with family and time constraints. Perhaps it's possible to link their sport participation with the sport club participation of the child. Why not run while your child is at training? It is a match, of course, you want to watch, but for training purposes, you could just have a run with some other parents. So there are some possibilities to increase sport participation in that group, and where you can combine sport participation with time fragments they have left. And the other one is the lower intrinsic motivated groups. Lower educated, lower income groups, ethnic minorities, low status neighborhoods, people that are not really attuned to sport participation, people that are not grown up with the culture of sport clubs, as it's quite common in the Netherlands, or with the idea that you should participate in sport as part of your development. I think for that group it's important that these sport participation and these sport facilities are accessible, nearby, affordable. So it's related to these target groups and concept of how you could reach more people and bring more people into sports. We came to evaluate one of the policy programs of the Ministry of Sport, which was to include more youngsters into sport, especially focused on low status neighborhoods, low income groups. Ethnic minorities were a priority within that project. Municipalities were selected based on the percentage of ethnic minorities within their community. Several sport federations joined the program, and quite unique from this program was that sport clubs were very much involved. They were financed to be part of the project, to do activities. They got funding to bring sport closer to the people, to engage new forms of sport, to develop forms of memberships that were well attuned to questions of the groups. And the results were quite good. We saw that the increase in sport club memberships with the sport clubs that were involved in the project were quite high, 50 extra members per sport club. In addition, there were the sport associations that took part in the program that grew harder and more than the other sport federations in the Netherlands. It was not just that more children became a member of the sport clubs, it was also that because a lot of activities were given in schools, that a lot of those children were introduced to sports and they had the experience of sport. Maybe they didn't become a member, but at least they participated to some occasions in this program. And due to this program in the local corporation, because sport clubs had to do something because they were giving money, sport federations were giving money, they also had to be active in the local network, and municipalities had a core responsibility, so they also were active. And especially that the cooperation on the local level proved to be one of the key factors in that project. The better the local cooperation, the better the outcome. I think one of the most important lessons that we learned from this program is that the organized sport, when you're given the confidence and of course the money to undertake activities and to take up responsibility to bring sport to the people, not just to their own members but to the wide public, then they can do so. They can take the extra mile to encourage people to participate in sport. However, if you talk about really difficult groups like ethnic minority, for instance the ethnic minority girls, are really hard to reach, which take a lot of time investment before you can get them in the sport club. It's really difficult and hard for sport clubs to do so, and they normally want to go for the quick gains. So you need municipalities who also have a social responsibility, more with the sport clubs, to take part in the program as well. As I said before, local cooperation is very important, and I think also the multi-actor approach. It's not one party that can make the difference. It is the sport club and the school and the street worker and the municipality all together that make it and that people are more active in the neighborhoods where this program was launched. And then a second policy program related to physical active environments, quite related also to physical activity, as is mentioned before here today. Especially believe that sport and physical activity contribute to livability, to a healthy lifestyle. If you have the possibility to do so in the area you live, you're more likely to be active. So we assume that the environment influences the behavior. We assume that we can be able to facilitate sport behavior and facilitate a healthy and active lifestyle. If we rearrange the public space, people can become more active. A lot of studies have shown that there is really an impact on how you design your neighborhood, on how active the people are in that neighborhood. One of the examples that I find quite interesting is the fitness for elderly. If you look at this, you can say it needs some work before those people will start using these attributes in public space. But if there's an organization that takes them there and does these activities with them and makes it kind of a daily routine, then it suddenly is a kind of a sport facility for them. A place where they go every day and just bike for a few minutes. And it is just a little bit of exercise, but it's very important in these age groups to have that exercise and to meet people there, to talk to others. So it's one of the interesting examples where you also can see how important it is not just to have a facility there, but also an organization that takes care of the group that wants to use it, or at least brings people there. Because if there was no organization and these facilities were just put there, they would never use it. Because it is kind of a barrier to just go there and sit and have a bike. So some results of the implementation of that policy program mainly focused on increasing physical activity and possibilities to be physically active in the area people live. It is the combination of hardware, software and software that makes the difference. It is not just about a facility, it's not just about one organization or about one instrument that is the solution. You should differentiate in sport and exercise possibilities and activities. Make sure that all age groups are intended to. It's not only youth that you should focus on, also elderly and other age groups, transportation purposes. You should have a good spread of your supply. In addition, you should make better use of green spaces. In the Netherlands, we found a lot of municipalities and a lot of neighbours actually that have a lot of potential in them, in which public space can be split spaces or physical activity space just by reinventing, for instance, school yards, closed after school hours. But just opening up could make a huge difference in creating possibilities to be physically active. But also there, cooperation is still very important. You should know what your residents want before you place it there. Because if the residents are not involved in the process of developing and rearranging their own neighborhood, then they're probably not really interested in using it as well. If you have playgrounds, you should also organize activities on it. It is not only the facility that makes a difference, you should have activities there as well to make sure that it is used, that people are active there, that people come there, feel safe when they go there, because there's some sort of control of safe environment. And the accessibility and safe walking and cycling routes is also very important. We found, for instance, that children, if it's not safe to go somewhere, the parents don't allow them to go there. So just by not having a safe route to a sport club or to a playground makes a huge difference. Just putting some lighting on the cycling road can make a difference whether people go to their club or not. And then to round up, we can conclude that the Netherlands have quite high level of sport participation. However, that we have still social differences and that our ambitions are a bit higher than our current level, which means that we still have a lot of work to do. The 10% points gap that we currently face towards our vision is hard to overcome. And there are a lot of policy programs in the Netherlands that have helped us to go a bit further. There's two programs I've talked about before. But what we do know is that the increase in sport participation will not be reached by one group. It will not be reached by one point, one organization, one solution. It is a total package that you should have in mind. And I think it's important that you realize that such a multi-actor or more factors that are involved, that you keep that in mind and go for that local cooperation or intersectoral policy. Not only your own policy, but also talk to health, talk to urban planning, talk to education involvement, just to make sure that together you can make a difference. And this is volunteers do today. And remember that also safety is of importance. We've seen often enough that because it's not a safe environment to come, that the best facilities are not used. So take that in mind as well. And I hope that we will, at least in the Netherlands, proceed to take that extra step to the 75% and contribute to the target that was mentioned this morning for 100 million extra Europeans active. We'll see later on.